All right, everyone, we start off today with very happy news, which is that Roger Stone had his sentence commuted. I should have done this yesterday, but actually I forgot to look up the actual news on it until after I had made my videos, and I typically don't make a fifth. So Roger Stone's been commuted. Now, what this means is that it's not a full pardon. A pardon and a commutation aren't the same. Some people use them interchangeably. A pardon would be if Trump was saying, essentially, Roger Stone's record is scrubbed, therefore, at least in the legal sense, on the books, no crime was committed. A commutation means you're just saying that the person has suffered enough. The charge is still there. Roger Stone is still technically guilty of these things. He just doesn't have to go to jail. Of course, they were going to put him in federal prison. He had argued that he should be able to basically be under like house arrest or something, with the idea that coronavirus, and they're letting a bunch of people out of prison who have actually victimized people and done real things wrong. They've been letting go of arsonists and rapists and people who assault others and people who are actual criminals, and they want to take this somewhat older dude, I think he's in his late 60s, and shove him in a jail cell to die, basically, which is what they're trying to do to Julian Assange. They want to kill him off, too. They can't wait till he croaks. He should be pardoned as well. But Roger Stone's been commuted, so he's free to do whatever he wants. Mostly, this is so he can continue to fight his civil legal battle, because the whole idea is this. This is eerily reminiscent of the Michael Flynn case. Now, again, it's funny because a lot of people on the left are like, well, if you're arguing that Michael Flynn didn't do anything wrong, you love criminals. But the thing is, Michael Flynn objectively did nothing wrong. And that's why the DOJ and even the FBI that was prosecuting him was deeply questioning the motives behind it. We now have a new release, by the way, in the Flynn case as of a couple days ago, that showed that the FBI didn't even believe its own bullshit. Another elusive memo comes forward, and they're like, well, he didn't even lie to us. So if a person didn't lie to you, and technically the only lie they told was under duress because you're threatening their family, as part of a case that never should have been waged in the first place because there was never any evidence to start the case, you can't possibly consider that person a criminal. Nonetheless, the charge against him in Flynn's case would have led to a Papadopoulos sentence. He would have been in jail for a couple of weeks, maybe a month. It would have been a minor misdemeanor charge. Nobody cares. It's not a significant crime, even if you construe it as one. In Roger Stone's case, they're alleging that he lied to the FBI. The problem is, he never should have been investigated in the first place. The investigation, the entire Mueller-Comey sort of nexus of investigative stuff that was going on, it was never proper to begin with. The government does not have the power to unilaterally begin investigating and harassing a person without proper cause. There has to be some justification behind why the case begins in the first place. No justification of any proper kind was ever given in the Flynn case. No justification of any kind was ever given in the Roger Stone case. So even if in the commission of the investigation he lied about something, it doesn't matter because he never should have been investigated or harassed in the first place. It's the basic idea. And the premise, by the way, the left is really up in arms because, look, Trump is covering for his friend. Roger Stone said he had dirt on Trump. Well, that's not actually what he said. What Roger Stone said was that he was under tremendous pressure to flip on Donald Trump, essentially to stab him in the back. So is Flynn, and it didn't happen. Flynn didn't lie. The FBI knew that Flynn didn't lie. I have no doubt whatsoever that when Barr looks into this, as more evidence is discovered, you'll find exculpatory evidence that shows quite clearly that this was another piece of bullshit. And what happened is that politically motivated individuals in the FBI misused the FISA system to investigate multiple people close to Donald Trump in hopes of kneecapping his presidency. That's basically what happened. The only legitimate crime to this day, out of the hundreds of people caught up in this dragnet and the dozens of people prosecuted, only one person was ever found guilty of a legitimate and grievous crime. That was Manafort, who was the short-term initial campaign manager. Manafort is in prison right now for presumably the rest of his life, not because of anything he did in the contemporary sense, but because of charges stemming from the mid-2000s. He wasn't a campaign manager for Trump. It was 10 years before the campaign began. And it didn't have to do with Russia, which was the other part of the great lie. It had to do with Ukrainian money laundering to the tune of several $1 million. Yeah, a significant white-collar crime, absolutely. It had nothing to do with Trump. Papadopoulos lied to the FBI. He got 2 weeks in jail. Big whoop. There was that other dude who allegedly tampered with witnesses, and they're alleging that about Stone too. But here's the problem. The entire investigation never should have occurred. There was no probable cause. If there's no probable cause, there never should have been a rubber-stamped FISA allowing the investigation. So anyone that was caught up in this dragnet as the result of that should be exonerated completely. In fact, they should just all be pardoned. Of course, Trump doesn't want to start a civil war or something like that. I'm not surprised that he commuted the sentence. Stone now gets to come out, tell his side of the story in more detail, because he doesn't have to worry about these bogus charges, and I completely support it. I also love Nancy Pelosi and all of these others pretending like this is unprecedented. Bush and Obama both pardoned and commuted sentences of people that were in their administration and close to them. They both did. Clinton pardoned hundreds and hundreds of mafiosos right before leaving office. It was actually a considerable scandal at the time. Even some of the liberals were raising their eyebrows. The idea that this is unprecedented, harms our democracy, upends the rule of law. No, it doesn't. Trump has the unilateral authority to do exactly what he does. It doesn't matter that Stone is his friend. And by the way, I have a feeling he still is his friend. When people say, well, Stone wanted to flip on him, he was threatening Trump. No, he wasn't. If you listen to his statement, what he's saying is basically, I was railroaded. I was being constantly harassed. They were trying to put me under duress to get me to squeal. But Trump didn't do anything wrong, so I didn't make up a bunch of bullshit about how he had Russian hookers piss in someone's bed. And so I got a commutation, haha, and he thumbs his nose at these fuckers. Good. I'm very happy for Mr. Stone, and I'm very happy for Trump for having the balls to do this. It did take some balls, some chutzpah when you think about it, because he knows that he's going to run up against the Dem-controlled House because of this. They're going to have an investigation. It's hardly over. They're definitely going to try to hold this over Trump's head during the election. But Trump says, fuck it. I think he realizes that after the debates, bloodbath against Biden and the fact that there's not even going to be a Dem convention. Oh, I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. Trump's got it made at the moment. People are sensing weakness, but much like a Sun Tzu strategy, I think that they're mistaking his strength. I think they're sorely overestimating Biden's chances, especially with regards to prevailing in a debate against Donald Trump. This is probably going to be a minor issue, though, because by the time November rolls around, it's not really going to be something people are talking about. The problem is Biden can't really use this for leverage because Trump can tie it into the Flynn case, where even the FBI is admitting no actual wrongdoing and there shouldn't have been an investigation. If he successfully ties these two things in together, it becomes a dud. Biden can't use it for any form of political gain. That's about all. Peace out.